These are the 7 most disturbing and controversial facts about the Qatar FIFA World Cup. Complaints, slavery, debts, and corruption? These are some of the concerns and controversies of the most expensive World Cup in football history. In case you didn't know, the 2022 FIFA World Cup is currently one of the most controversial World Cups in football history. From the way the organization of the event went to the thousands of workers who died during the construction of the stadiums. And there are many other facts that football fans do not know about Qatar 2022. To begin, we have slavery and debts? Yep, as you heard. For the tournament, Qatar has built new stadiums, an airport, a metro system, and several roads. And because of that, the government has been criticized for its treatment of the 30,000 foreigners who have worked on these projects. Qatar is allegedly using modern slavery to build infrastructure. A 2013 exposure in the British newspaper, The Guardian, revealed that the widespread exploitation of workers helping to build the World Cup infrastructure and reported that extreme heat and workplace accidents had led to a large number of deaths. Accusations of staff being misled about working conditions and pay, as well as threats, expensive recruitment fees, and forced labor are also prevalent. The Secretary General of Qatar 2022 told the BBC that no matter what is done, nothing is going to compensate for the loss of life. But we have done everything possible to be able to offer the relevant compensation to the families, and we have investigated all the deaths to try to find the root cause and ensure that these tragedies do not occur again. The ILO, better known as the International Labour Organization, claims that Qatar has not counted sudden and unexpected deaths among workers. He says that these include heart attacks and respiratory failure caused by heat stroke, which are recorded as natural causes and not related to work. Okay, now we are talking about something any of us could get mad about. But that's not all, because there are some accusations of vote buying. Yep. Once again, Qatar surprised the planet in 2010 when FIFA appointed it as the organizer of the 2022 World Cup without suspecting the corruption scandal that would unleash years later, motivated by a conflict of interest. That's sus even for me. So yeah, as you all can see, the Emirate was chosen to host the first World Cup in the Middle East, despite its lack of football tradition, its limited territorial size, and its oppressive temperatures. And even with all of those factors against it, the Arab country was able to defeat the United States, Australia, South Korea, and Japan in the election process. So yeah, if things couldn't get more out of hand, 2 members of the 24 members FIFA Executive Committee who cast votes for the World Cup host were suspended prior to the 2010 vote after being filmed offering votes in exchange for cash. But that's not all, because Switzerland and France and the 2020 US indictment accused 3 FIFA Executive Committee members of receiving payments to support Qatar's bid. Which is obvious, Qatar denies the vote-buying accusations. Anyways, FIFA said awarding the event to the Emirate was based on the organization's strategy of expanding soccer to new regions. Something here stinks so bad. As we said before, FIFA 2022 will be the most expensive World Cup in history. The amount the host nation is spending on preparations for the upcoming event is more than $200 billion. Yes, you heard that right. We are talking about 9 damn zeros just on preparations. But it seems that for them, it's not enough, because Qatar seeks to provide an unforgettable experience by building infrastructure projects that include the construction of stadiums, roads, hotels, and a long etc. And if I continue, the video is going to last more than you in bed. Despite the jokes, this will make the Qatar FIFA World Cup one of the most expensive World Cups in the history of the game. But is this really something necessary? These figures have many people unhappy, since they are spending $200 billion, which is a lot of money, and many wonders why the nation's billionaires don't spend as much money on solving problems like world hunger, which is completely understandable. Going back with Qatar, it's a country without the real football history, and that's why there's currently no real infrastructure that can cope with an event the size of the World Cup, so they plan to build a completely new city, about 15 kilometers north of Doha, to host the tournament. Incredible, right? And now the topic we're about to touch is kinda sensitive. Yeah, as you all know, the homophobia. Qatar is very conservative with these things. The decision to organize the tournament in a country where homosexuality is illegal has been widely criticized. While Qatar has more liberal policies than many Middle Eastern countries, it still has strict anti-gay laws. Homosexuality is criminalized in Qatar and the punishment could be as severe as the death penalty, which is something that for people like us, it's too much. Despite the fact that the host of the 2022 World Cup has given the clearest indication yet, LGBTIQ fans will be welcome despite criminalizing homosexuality. And people are really questioning whether it should really be held in such a country, since that in a civilized world shouldn't happen. That's not tolerated. It is worth mentioning that the president of FIFA, Sepp Blatter, in his first statements recommended that homosexual men who want to go to the World Cup should refrain from any sexual activity, which means that gay couples should avoid public displays of affection out of respect for the Qatari culture. So give us your opinion in the comments. Would you feel welcome and comfortable in a place that is completely the opposite of your lifestyle? Gareth Southgate, England's manager, said that it would be very embarrassing if some fans were unable to attend to the World Cup for fear of how they might be treated. So we would like to know, how would you feel if you were there? As we all know, the Qatar FIFA World Cup is going to be on winter, which means that there's a possibility that the European leagues will be ruined. But why? Well, to combat the heat problem, the solution at the moment seems to be to move the tournament to winter, when temperatures are much more manageable. For many of these great world stars, the club matters more than the country. While the World Cup is a huge event, postponing the English, Spanish and Italian leagues for a few months in the middle of the year will be a headache for everyone involved. So in 2015, it was decided that the tournament will be moved to the cooler winter months of November and December. This has caused a serious problem in national football calendars, with league and cup competitions around the world forced to be paralyzed for a month, as well as continental tournaments such as the Champions League. The counter-argument is that the World Cup will benefit from having players at the peak of their fitness, as fatigue often proves to be a major factor in summer tournaments when international teams are coming off the back of a grueling spell, from 9 to 10 months. So all of these seasonal changes are exposing the players to a new dangerous climate. So the 2022 edition of this competition will be the first Winter World Cup in the Northern Hemisphere, when originally the World Cup is usually held in the summers in the Northern Hemisphere, as this is the time when the region experiences winter conditions. However, things get complicated when it comes to Qatar. Located in the Middle East, Qatar experiences agonizingly high temperatures that can reach as high as 50 degrees Celsius or even 122 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a lot. So in such conditions, organizing any kind of World Cup can be next to impossible, and even though this is a dangerous type of heat. Unlike tennis, FIFA doesn't have a policy for extreme weather conditions at its tournaments, but merely advises players to drink a lot of water. And last but not least, Qatar and its unfulfilled promises. Yep. Despite promises of reform, migrant workers continue to return home without pay or justice, and because of that, a new research by Amnesty International has revealed that thousands of migrant workers continue to wait in vain for their unpaid wages and compensation, despite promises from Qatar to improve their rights. In addition, Qatar's bid put forward all sorts of far-fetched schemes, including air conditioning for the grounds and floating solar clouds that would shade the pitch. The Daily Mail reported, inevitably, this proved unfeasible. Qatar promised to build space-age stadiums that will have unprecedented cooling technology so that games could be played in conditions during the summer, as Qatar's winter temperatures remain scorching and evidence indicated that this would not happen. It may be the most expensive World Cup yet, but the costs are mainly due to the infrastructure, not the stadiums. The Qatar World Cup will be hosted by no more than 8 stadiums, which is the lowest number for the tournament in recent memory. From the beginning, Qatar originally planned to build 10 world-class stadiums within a radius of 25 kilometers each, aka 15.5 miles wide. In conclusion, definitely FIFA has tried to put a stop to its past actions. The 2022 World Cup remains a sobering reminder of the old ways. With just a year to go until the start in Qatar, several questions remain unanswered, with human rights abuses, an awkward schedule, and diplomatic concerns continuing to dominate the build-up to the tournament. Now tell us, what do you think? Do you think that Qatar should not be the host country of one of the biggest sports tournaments in the world? Or do you think that regardless of the controversies, this is possibly the most innovative World Cup in football history? And we would love to hear your opinion in the comments. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Until the next time,